Consistency is everything. And so I'm back with another video. And I really wanted to focus in on what I would tell my younger self. I've seen a lot of videos of people talking to the idea of what they would have changed, what advice they would give to their 20-year-old or 30-year-old self, right? I'm almost 40 years old. I'm 39 at the moment. But, I thought it would be interesting to kind of take a look back at my life, identify key areas that I'm currently seeking to improve on, and the advice I would give younger Christian to set himself up for more success in all of these facets of life heading into his 40s. And I also want to provide the encouragement to anybody watching this video who is approaching older age, just because you can look back on your life and think of opportunities that you would have taken when you were younger or things that you would have done differently doesn't mean you can't still make those adjustments today, right? I don't want this to be a look back with regret, but look forward with optimism. The old saying goes, the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago, but the second best time is now. So let's jump right into it. So the first category, and I'm gonna just go right off the dome, so hopefully this is not all over the place, but the first category of my life that I would look at and give younger me advice on would be health and fitness. The advice I would give younger me would be to start earlier in establishing a consistent routine in terms of waking up, going to sleep, working out on a regular basis, and eating clean. Today, I still have a lot of bad habits in terms of maintaining a consistent fitness regimen. I start and I stop, and this is true of all the other things that I just mentioned. And I find a lot of these bad habits begin to overflow into my children now. And also into my wife. As the man, I do feel like I am the leader of my household. I need to set a better example. And I do feel like younger me would have benefited from embracing the struggle a bit more. And it's not even really a struggle, it's just the delaying gratification. For younger Christian, and for anybody out there who's a young individual, 20 years old, 30 years old, however old you are, please begin to go to the gym today. Stick with it. It's never going to be fun, but you will thank yourself and your body will thank you as you begin to get older, and you can avoid experiencing some of those aches and pains or potential health issues. I feel like I'm relatively healthy by the grace of God at my age, but I know a lot of people my age who are not. So establish a consistent workout routine, learn the art of cooking. All the money you're sinking into fast food and eating out could be put back into your groceries. Get into bed. You're not missing anything out in these streets. Going out to the clubs, partying, drinking all night, staying up, binge watching shows on Netflix. None of that's gonna serve you in your future. If anything, it's going to hold you back, because not only will you not achieve big dreams and goals, but you're gonna find as you move into a career, if that's the path you decide to go down, these habits are gonna still hinder you. You're not gonna move up the corporate ladder. You're not gonna show up every day and present your best self, because you're gonna feel groggy from eating terrible food. You're gonna feel sleep deprived. Your mind's not gonna be functioning at peak efficiency. Your body's not gonna be at peak efficiency. Struggle now. Establish a strong, consistent routine, delay gratification, and be the best you can be from a physical fitness, mental fitness, and nutrition perspective now, so you can maintain that heading into the future. All right, number 2 is heavy for me, and the second category is personal finances. So what I would tell younger me, and man, there's a lot I would tell younger me. So at almost 40, I feel like I'm doing good to a point. My primary and lone source of income at this moment is my corporate job, which I may have mentioned in previous videos. So the problem with that is my earning potential is capped, meaning I can only make as much as my employer will allow me to make. And at the same time, I am solely dependent on a corporate entity. I've been laid off, and when I got laid off, I had no other means to provide for myself. So there were a lot of things that needed to happen, a lot of measures that had to be put in place just to help keep me and my family above water. And as I look back over my life, there were things that I should have done earlier that I didn't. I should have invested my money a bit more. I feel like I've made a significant amount of money and I have nothing really to show for it. I don't have a stock portfolio. I should have probably bought a house when I was younger so I could have built some equity and sold that house for much more than what I paid for it, so I could have bought a bigger house or gotten closer to buying my dream home once I established my family. I did buy a house a couple years ago during COVID, got a okay interest rate, not as good of an interest rate as I would have got when I was younger. And I probably overpaid for the house, which I am truthfully trying to sell now so I can recoup some of my funds, my income, so I can begin to invest it. So the advice I would make or give to younger me is, as you get your paychecks, stop thinking about buying liabilities, things that are going to depreciate in value or appreciate very slowly. Consider how you can invest all the money you're making into assets that are going to generate more money for you independent of your job, so that you can not only make more money, but you can also begin to live the quality of life you want to live. Current me is on a trajectory to be working until I'm probably 70 or older, and having to, in my old age, dramatically reduce my quality of life just to be able to live within my new income range, assuming that there's even anything for me, right? I've just recently begun to reinvest in my 401k. I'm not gonna get a pension, and I'll be lucky if Medicare is even around by the time I get to be Medicare eligible. So to the young people out there, use the money you have from your job today to buy assets. Don't worry about buying sneakers. Don't worry about trying to flex and impress people who probably don't really care that much about you anyway. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Live frugally today so that tomorrow, by the time you get to be 39 heading into 40, you're living a more luxurious life. Not that you want to go out and floss on anybody. You don't want to, I know you're not doing it from the perspective of trying to be flashy and show off, but you should be able to do things that you want to do, buy things that you want to buy without having to think about every cent that's coming out of your account, and without having to worry about what old age is going to look like. So that's it for finances. So number three is going to be skills and personal development. And let me elaborate on what that means. So when I'm referencing skills and personal development, we may even factor in career development to some degree. I mean to say, consider today what skills you can develop independent of college that will serve you in the best possible way to achieve ownership of something, to achieve building a business or establishing a life for yourself independent, once again, of a corporate entity. I went down the conventional path. I was a very good student in high school. I ended up going back to college once I had a little bit of time to just kind of work in my early 20s. And I just kind of went down the most conventional path, and it's led me to this point where it becomes increasingly harder for me to figure out how to create a life independent of a day job. My encouragement to my younger self would have been to be more experimental in the skills that you developed. Don't keep your head down in the school books, but rather invest in courses and then take the information from those courses to actually go out and put them into use in the real world, so you can begin to learn from the school of hard knocks. I feel like there are people who just jump right into business and marketing and their passions, and they are so much further ahead than the person who's going to school to learn about those same things, just because they're getting very early real world experience, which in turn is going to make them experts independent of a degree, while they're going to hire people like me with a degree just to run the day-to-day while they're out making all the money and having all the fun and being able to not have to be beholden to the office 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. So yeah, I would say be adventurous, throw caution to the wind and just jump out there and trust in yourself and embrace the idea that you're going to fail as you move through these pursuits. But failure, once again, leads to success. You can't be successful without first failing. So young people, be willing to fail and learn from each failure so you can grow and get better, so that you can be the CEO and not the employee when you're heading into your 40s. Personal development and skill growth. That was number 3. All right, number 4. Number 4, I'm gonna say, is gonna be focused on relationships and social connections. So, young me, 20-year-old me, I would say had a pretty decent amount of friends. I did try out a few things, right? I used to rap back in the day, so I found myself in a lot of situations where I got to meet a lot of new people. I got to network, and it led to me finding some really good friends, having some really awesome and amazing experiences that I still look back on and think to myself, not reminiscing on the good old days or nothing, but think to myself that those were some of the best times of my life. Even though I didn't have as much money in my pocket, I just had so much more fun. And, I think it's important to build those relationships, but more so than building, I think it's maintaining those. So over time, I found my pursuit, as a result of my quest to survive and make more money, my pursuit of money, my pursuit of a conventional life, my pursuit of a career, put distance between myself and my friends. A lot of times I found myself just heads down trying to figure out, how do I get to the next level? And the more I climbed the corporate ladder, the times in which I connected with my friends became less and less, and that gap became longer and longer. And even to this day, there's still friendships and relationships that I want to repair. But with all the added responsibility of a wife and kids, it becomes increasingly more difficult. And also, speaking of wife and kids, relationships there are very important as well. What you're gonna find if you don't do what you need to do today as a young person to establish yourself before you get to that point of having wife and kids, is that you're gonna have one of the best blessings in the world, which I consider having a family an immense blessing, especially if that's a life goal of yours. But you're not even gonna be able to give the best part of yourself to them because you're going to be working all the time. You're not going to be as engaged, even in your free time, your Saturday and Sunday, your weekend, if you will. And you're always going to be thinking about how you can put them in the best position possible financially, but at the expense of those emotional connections. You're gonna lose so much time, so much valuable time creating memories and just enjoying your loved ones, especially your kids. The best times are when, well, I'm not gonna say the best times, but some of the most valuable times is when they're little, when they're young, when they're babies, infants, toddlers. And if you're working all the time, trying to provide a financial quality of life for them, you're going to be missing out on providing an emotional and qualitative time with them. So definitely do what you need to do to build relationships today while you're young with your friends. Begin considering your future, what a family looks like, and put yourself in a position to really be able to grow your friendships over time and enjoy your family when you get to be older. right? You shouldn't be thinking about how to survive. You should be thinking about how do we thrive, and going on vacations and just creating memories that are gonna last you well into your old age. Is there anything else I would tell my younger self? You know, I don't know if there's any other pillar I would focus on, but here's what I would tell my younger self, and this is what I'll tell the younger people watching this video, is that when you're young, elementary school, middle school, high school, even while you're still trying to establish yourself in this world as a young person, time moves slow. You strive for so much that you lose sight of living in the moment and appreciating what you have around you today. Once you move a little bit forward in life, you establish yourself a little bit, maybe to some degree, you get complacent, which young you, don't get complacent. It's a trap. Never be comfortable, always be striving for more. That's neither here nor there. Once you get older, time passes very quickly. It feels like the days, the weeks, the months, and the years just move at a very rapid pace. So, younger me, I would say, take time to be more appreciative of what you have today. Even if it's not everything you want it to be, you're blessed beyond belief. Take the time to appreciate your family. Take the time to appreciate and value your relationships. Take the time to appreciate and value your immediate family, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, cousins, uncles, aunts. Don't let time get away from you to the point to where you're staring down the barrel of 80 and you're living with regrets. Now, good news is you're only 39 today. So all the things you just said, the 20-year-old you can't get that time back. We can't get more time, but you can focus on today. The power is yours, Captain Planet. Anywho, that's all I got for y'all, man. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you extracted some value from it. Hopefully you got a word or a message from it that can change the trajectory of your life, whether you're 20, whether you're 30, whether you're 40, whether you're 50, I don't care how old you are. If you get the opportunity to wake up tomorrow, you have the opportunity to do something better, to be better, to do something different, to live the kind of life that you always dreamed of living. I love y'all. Stay well. Until the next time we talk, be blessed.